Good evening, dear listeners. It's me again, Alexian, your storyteller, wizard, and good friend. Welcome to my Library of Wonders, a place where the most amazing stories come to life. Here, among endless shelves of books, every tale is not just a story, but an entire world full of mysteries, adventures, and important lessons. Today, I will tell you a story about a little fox cub who set out to find friends. Together, we will journey to picturesque meadows where the wind plays with the grass and the hills are like soft green blankets. Are you ready to embark on this adventure? Then let's take my magical compass, which will show us the way, and begin. On the boundless meadows, where flowers bloomed in bright colours and trees stood like guardians protecting the peace of nature, lived a little fox cub named Rudy. Rudy had a fluffy orange coat and clever but kind eyes. However, despite his wit, Rudy was very lonely. Every morning, he would wake up in his cosy burrow at the foot of a hill and watch other animals play. Bunnies hopping among the flowers, birds chirping merrily on the branches, and even hedgehogs rolling down the hills like little spiky balls. Why don't I have any friends? Rudy thought sadly. One day, he decided it was time to change things. I won't sit in my burrow alone anymore. I'll go out and find myself some friends, he said confidently to himself. Rudy first headed to a blooming meadow where bunnies were playing tag. He approached them and said, "Hi, can I play with you?" But the bunnies got scared. "Foxes hunt us," they thought, and quickly hid in the tall grass. Rudy sighed and walked on. On the branch of an old oak tree, he saw a bird chirping cheerfully. "Hi, birdie," Rudy called out. "Would you like to play with me?" The bird grew wary. "What if he wants to get to my nest?" she thought, and quickly flew away. Rudy felt his heart tighten with sadness. "Maybe I'll never find friends," he thought. But then he heard a loud squeak. The sound came from behind a large rock at the foot of the hill. Rudy cautiously approached and saw a little hedgehog stuck between two rocks. "What happened?" Rudy asked. "I tried to squeeze through the rocks but got stuck." The hedgehog sniffled. "Don't worry, I'll help you," said Rudy. He carefully nudged the rocks with his paws and freed the hedgehog. "Thank you," the hedgehog said happily. "My name is Topa. What's your name?" "I'm Rudy," the fox cub replied. "You're very kind, Rudy. Would you like to be my friend?" "Of course," Rudy said joyfully. From then on, Rudy and Topa became good friends. They played together, rolled down hills, and picked berries. But one day, while walking through the meadow, Topa noticed something unusual. "Rudy, look," he said, pointing with his paw at tracks in the grass. The tracks were small and led to thick bushes. "Someone's been here recently," Rudy said thoughtfully. "Let's see who it is." They followed the tracks through the tall grass until they reached an old oak tree. There they heard a strange sound, something like rustling and a faint squeak. "Who's there?" Rudy called out loudly. From behind the tree roots, a little rabbit peeked out. His ears were trembling and his eyes were full of fear. "Please don't hurt me," he squeaked. "We won't hurt you." Rudy smiled. "Why are you hiding?" The rabbit stepped out of his hiding spot and said quietly, "My name is Flip. I got lost. I wanted to pick flowers for my mom, but I got lost and can't find my way home." "Don't worry, Flip," said Topa. "We'll help you get home." "Really?" the rabbit asked in surprise. He looked at Rudy with distrust. "He's a fox. What if he hurts me?" Flip thought. But seeing Rudy's kind smile and hearing his calm voice, he felt there was no danger. And besides, Rudy was standing side by side with a hedgehog, which was strange and unusual. Flip stopped being afraid. He really did need help. "Of course we'll help you," Rudy and Topa said in unison. The three of them set off. Flip explained that his home was on the other side of a big hill, in a meadow full of daisies. "But how will we find that place and get there?" Topa asked, looking at the tall hill. "I have an idea," Rudy said. "We can climb the hill and look from the top to see where the daisies are." They began the climb. The hill was steep and Flip lagged behind a bit, but Rudy and Topa helped him. When they reached the top, a breathtaking view opened up before them. Green meadows, blooming fields, and in the distance, a daisy meadow. "Is that your home?" Rudy asked, pointing to the meadow. "Yes," Flip exclaimed happily. They quickly descended the hill and headed toward the meadow. As they got closer, Flip's mum ran out of the bushes. "Flip!" she cried. "I was so worried!" "Mom!" the little rabbit shouted and ran to her. Flip told his mom how Rudy and Topa had helped him find his way home. At first, Flip's mom didn't even notice that a fox had brought her son home. But when she saw Rudy, she froze in surprise. "A fox," she whispered. But seeing Rudy's kind smile and how Flip joyfully talked about his new friends, Flip's mom was overjoyed. "Thank you," she said. "You're true friends. Now come inside and I'll treat you to some tea." Rudy was surprised. Rabbits had never invited him into their homes before. But Flip's mom was so grateful that she couldn't help but invite Rudy, even though he was a fox. From then on, the three friends became inseparable. They explored the meadows together, raced down hills, and shared their stories with each other. Rudy never felt lonely again because he realized that true friends appear when you're ready to help and be kind. That's the story, dear listeners. It reminds us that friendship begins with kind deeds and sincerity. Even if it seems at first that no one understands you, it's important not to give up and stay true to yourself. Now, as the magical compass points us home, I want to ask you, what do you think about Rudy, Topa and Flip? What would you have done in their place? And what do you think is the most important thing in friendship? Until next time, dear friends, in our Library of Wonders. Together, we'll discover countless worlds and stories.